Road, Parkview Animal Hospital. Your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
John just tried Runza's new Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger with its sweet heat bacon jam, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and cream cheese.
Whoa, this burger's like totally...
What?
You know.
Not sure I'm getting it.
It's totally jammin'?
Ah, I see. Well, don't jam with your mouth full. Try the Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
The stretch run is here. On March 18th, Love Nebraska hosts Love Atlanta at Baxter Arena with first serve set for 7 p.m., and every set carries postseason implications. Two explosive teams meet on one court, trading quick transition, heavy swings, and defensive plays that can shift the match in seconds. Playoff implications on the line as the season winds down. Don't just track the score, feel every rally live. Secure your seats at lovebneb.com/tickets.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
It's been a busy day in sports. A lot has happened while you were up to your eyeballs in work. Catch up on what went down in Nebraska athletics, college sports, and your favorite pro sports leagues. This is Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Sponsored by Canopy Street Market. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Happy Monday. Welcome back. Normal schedule after a chaotic week of NCAA basketball high school games across the board. Congrats to everybody who cut down the nets at Pinnacle Bank Arena in the girls tournament with those 6 teams a week ago. And then this past weekend with the boys teams, Lincoln Southwest winning a Class A state title. LPS school bringing home the gold. Class B being Scotts Bluff. They were standing across the street from our studios here, located at 1040 O Street in the capital city. They got probably a nice trip back home to Scotts Bluff with that group making the trip east as well. Those games really stood out. Ashland Greenwood winning a state title as well. A lot of really good stories out of that one as well across the board. So thank you to everybody here who made that possible. Nick Sainer, Tristan Gomez, Jay Foreman, and Austin Norman calling a handful of games throughout the day. They still have their voices from the ones I ran into today here at the office. They still have their voices after calling multiple games. But yes, it's a tall task to do. But everybody is on board to be able to make that project float and go smoothly. So that was a chaotic week, but we're into another one. A very chaotic but fun, entertaining week across the board in the sports world. But also right here in 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. If you'd love to join the conversation throughout the show, I can see your messages on Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, or if you're watching on Allo Channel 961, use any of those platforms to comment as well. Throughout the show, we're going to talk very heavily on the NCAA tournament as it is March. The conference tournament week is behind us. Now we turn our attention toward the big dance. And the reason it's so important is just because Nebraska is in it. Last year, go back 365 days ago, Nebraska misses out on making the Big Ten tournament and going to the college basketball crown, which was a new thing, and Nebraska made the most out of that trip. Ended up winning the whole darn thing and going undefeated at the college basketball crown, which that bracket came out today, by the way. Creighton is in it. Creighton will be playing, trying to keep the crown trophy in state, I guess. I don't know. If you're rooting for Creighton, I guess. If you're a Nebraska fan, let me know. 402-464-5685. Sorry, Heyman Jewelers text line will be open throughout the entire length of the show. 402-464-5685. The NCAA tournament selection shows yesterday. I'm assuming a lot of people had their eyeballs on that one. With Nebraska being put in the tournament, we all knew after losing to Purdue, Nebraska season wasn't over there. 26-6 entering tournament play. Everybody knew, hey, they're going to be playing in the big dance. It's a matter of where and when. And despite this, I sat there and was watching it personally and kind of was, nervous just because we're so used to seeing Nebraska be a bubble team, so used to seeing them, are they in, are they not, or whatnot, and where will they fall? Are they a 7, 8, 9? They are a 4 seed, Nebraska. And I still sat there and was like, because they revealed the regions. They started out in the East, went to the West, then to the Midwest, and wrapped it up with the South region. So Nebraska was one of the last 16 teams to be announced, but it was just exciting. I mean, nervous, yes, just because see where they fall and where they'll end up with, what draw they'll get. So Nebraska will play Thursday morning at 11:40 a.m. Central Time. They will take on number 13 Troy, the Troy Trojans, on the hardwood in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, is where Nebraska will start the big dance as they take on the Trojans, a team that won the Sun Belt, finished 22-11 on the season. An interesting matchup, to say the least. Nebraska, the 4 seed, Troy, the 13 seed. Nebraska, obviously in this game, Nebraska is going to be led by Price Stanford with 17 points a game, nearly 18 points a game, most threes in a season in Big Ten history. Obviously, that will be a really big talking point always because, how he's kind of put the team on his back, I wouldn't say, but he's able to drop, 25 plus points and just take over a game at some points and just go nuclear from beyond the arc. But Nebraska's also got a lot of bodies that are new to the NCAA tournament. I mean, obviously, like Sam Hoiberg and whatnot were on the roster the last time Nebraska made it. But not much tournament experience there. And Nebraska doesn't really bring that, which is fine. They have a lot of neutral site experience, I think, which is very interesting. Nebraska played the Pentagon in South Dakota against Oklahoma. Not the NCAA tournament, but a neutral site game where you're just banking on fans making the trip, and Nebraska fans did. You go to Kansas City earlier this year. Nebraska played K-State, Kansas State, and New Mexico in Kansas City. Nebraska fans made the trip and helped them with those wins. Now you're going down to Oklahoma City in possibly the biggest game to date in program history, just because the magnitude of Nebraska has not won a March Madness NCAA tournament game. It is brought every time Nebraska makes the NCAA tournament. This story is brought up, whether it be the Taran Petaway, Walter Pitchford, Ray Gallegos, Benny Parker team, a couple, 12 years ago or whatnot, whether it be the team with Keisei Tominaga a couple years ago, and whether it be this team. That is just the talking point for Nebraska. You'll hear it till Thursday, that Nebraska is still a Power 4 team without a NCAA tournament win. That's the storyline. And rightfully so. It is. It was when Northwestern was also the other Power 4 team, or at the time Power 5 team, to not win an NCAA tournament game. It was the talking point between that Northwestern team. And they kind of got that monkey off their back at the end against the Vanderbilt game, which they finally got a win. So that'll be the storyline throughout the entire length of that day. Also with Troy also has never won a postseason game. I say postseason because they haven't won an NIT game. They've never played in the Crown. They are also a school without a win in the NCAA tournament, but also postseason in general. So run you through Troy's 3 appearances in the NCAA tournament. So Troy played in 2003. They played Xavier as a 14th seed and lost 71-59. 2017, Troy lost to Duke as a 15 seed, 87-65 to Duke. And then just last year, this same Troy team was in the NCAA tournament as a 14 seed, and they lost to Kentucky in the first round, 93-78. So they do have an experienced group. Victor Valdez is kind of the leader of their team, scoring-wise. I mean, he drops a pretty solid amount of points per game. He will be a notable guy to watch. He averages 14.8 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shoots around 40% from the floor. But this Troy team, they're not a huge team. They don't have any 7-footers on their team or whatnot. 6'6", 6'7", pretty much the tallest guys. But in March Madness, you kind of got to throw the records at the book and you got to come to play. I think that's the biggest thing. Because that's just the magic of March. And because we've seen 13 seeds beat 4 seeds all the time. It's just how March works. Nebraska's got to come to play and just handle business in general. And there you go. I think we got Caleb Smith in the chat in here. Caleb Smith, obviously on All In, promised me he would join in. Let's go, Nick. I agree, Caleb. You're the man. You're the man. He promised he's like, oh, you're right here till midnight? I was like, yeah, that'll be me. He's like, oh, I'll join in the chat. So I respect it. I'm assuming that's who it is. But yes, thank you for for tuning in. I respect it. But Nebraska is a team where I think you just block out the noise. I think that's the biggest answer. They talked today in the media. We do have some sound bites from Fred Hoiberg, Sam Hoiberg, and Price Sanford on just in general. They had their media scrum today where they talked to the media about what it's like to be a part of this. So we can play some of those. We want to listen to some of those throughout the night. We can. We got plenty of them for Fred Hoiberg and company because, we have plenty of them. Let's talk. Let's play a couple. We'll play one from each of them from the 2 players and Fred Hoiberg. Fred Hoiberg talked about his first impressions on Troy. What kind of stood out with Troy, the Trojans, before they gear up for the NCAA tournament in a couple of days, because it'll be Thursday before we know it at 11:40 when Nebraska and Troy tip off the second game of the 2026 edition of the NCAA tournament. But here's Fred Hoiberg on what his first impressions of the Troy Trojans are.
A really, really impressive team, very well coached, very disciplined. They take care of the ball. They have a very good assist to turnover ratio, do a really good job on the glass. And it's a team that's got a lot of skill all over the floor. And Dowd and Valdez. They're really, really good players, both all league players, out first team. And those guys play with a lot of confidence and a lot of swagger. And it's a team that's won 20 games 5 straight years. So they've got a winning culture, and we're going to have to be on point. It's important for us, to go down there and get our crowd into it. I think we're going to have a really good crowd in Oklahoma City, and it's our job to get them into it. So important to go down there with the right mindset and get off to a fast start.
I think Fred nailed that one. The team, they want them to get off to a fast start. They want them to play hard. We've seen Nebraska get off to slow starts against teams. That's just what happens. And that's just what we've seen. Caleb in the chat also says, if Nebraska found a way to win this game, what would be the keys to victory? I think fast start. You're the superior team. You're the taller team. You're the bigger team. You're the more athletic team. We see that as the NCAA tournament progresses. You run into more athleticism as you go. Just how it goes. But you're playing a team. Like I said, Fred gave them a lot of credit. They are a winning culture. Scott Cross and that team have been, really good program in the Sun Belt. 20-plus wins the last 5 years. Have made the tournament twice in the last 2 seasons. They're also looking for that first tournament win. And this is the highest ranking they've ever been as well. They've been in the 14 seeds and 15 seeds during their history. They're going to be a 13 seed, the highest they've been ranked, along with Nebraska. So very similar storylines. Not the same. Like, they're not a 4 seed, but they're a 13 seed. But I think keys to victory for Nebraska are someone's got to get hot right away. I think getting a hot start, getting established, get the crowd into it. I think that's a big one too. I know Nebraska played A&M in the tournament, and they had a very good turnout there, but A&M was able to weather the storm and take Nebraska's crowd out of that game and just take complete control in that Casey Tominaga-led Husker team. That was the last time the Huskers were in the tournament. I think that is a big key for Nebraska is get the crowd into it, make it a home game in a sense, because Troy's not going to have a huge fan base. I mean, they do have a fan base. Like, they will have Troy fans there. I also think as an underdog team in these games, there'll be neutral, casual watchers who are going to be attending these games. We've seen it when the Omaha hosts the NCAA tournament. When there'll be Vanderbilt and McNeese State is the next game to follow in Oklahoma City. There'll be Vandy and McNeese State fans and your casual. Oklahoma City is a big basketball team. The Thunder just won the NBA Finals. There'll be fans trickling down to watch some basketball during the weekday. You're going to have, let's say Nebraska and Troy is a close game. The Nebraska fans will cheer for Nebraska, but the casual fans, not even casual, but the neutral fans will be cheering for the underdog. That's just how March Madness works. So to be able to not give the underdog team a momentum, that not only goes for Nebraska, that goes for all the other top 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds in the tournament. We saw the Virginia Cavaliers play a game in North Carolina against UMBC in the NCAA. I'm not trying to compare it to that game. I'm not trying to compare Troy to UMBC. I'm not trying to compare Nebraska to a Kyle Guy-led Virginia team. But it's an easy example where Virginia obviously is the bigger fan base than UMBC, but UMBC starts gaining momentum, starts making tough shots. And then the crowd, the sides that have no rooting interest in Virginia and UMBC, start to get into it. And that's a thing in March Madness. We've seen it with Princeton a couple of years ago against Arizona. Nebraska is not a Arizona or a Virginia or a Duke, which I do think helps because they're a team that is a nice story that's easy to get behind in March Madness. A group of guys who came together with really an expectation just to make the tournament, but now they're fully exceeded those expectations. It's awesome. People are still pushing the goalpost for this team, but they are a 4 seed, which I think helps that they're not this, brand of basketball school like a UConn or a UCLA or a Kansas or a Michigan State or a Michigan or a Duke. That I don't think that's going to happen where the rooting interest from a neutral fan goes toward the underdog. Like, yes, they are the lower seed. They are the 13 seed. But I think Nebraska fans, if Price Stanford hits back-to-back threes or Rink gets going or whatnot, the crowd's going to be PBA South, essentially. And I trust Nebraska fans fully on that. A lot of fans are making trips, taking out obligations out of their workday, taking off work or whatnot, making travel plans on short notice. I mean, the bracket didn't come out until Sunday around 5. We didn't know where Nebraska was on until about 5:30. So short notice. But yeah, crazy that people are going to take time out of their day to support this group. They are going to get the bracket come out Sunday night, work Monday, Tuesday, maybe take off Wednesday, go down to Oklahoma City. I don't know. If you're heading down, I'd like to know your plans. Because It's on very short notice to get out of that. And then you have to go down Thursday. If they win that game, they play Saturday at some point. As always, here on the ticket, we'll have coverage not only here for post-game, Buffalo Wings and Rings on Thursday, but also early break. Thursday and Friday will be live from OKC. Very exciting to see what Bill Bush, Steve Sipple, and Jake Sorensen cook up from down there in Oklahoma. But looking at the big picture of the bracket, obviously Nebraska, Victor Valdez is the leading scorer for this Troy team. They're a solid bunch. Nebraska should be able to be the bigger team, the more athletic team, and just handle business. Troy is a solid rebounding team, but I think Nebraska is able to handle business. But still have a couple more days. A lot can change. And it's all about, you kind of throw out the records come March Madness. We've seen it time and time again. If you are a viewer of the NCAA tournament, you know the magic of March. It's a thing. 5-12. Somebody always says pick one of them. 13 seeds. We've seen St. Peter's a couple years ago make a run to an Elite Eight. So anything is possible on the table. You got to show up and play the game. There's 40 minutes of basketball. Obviously, Nebraska will have the fan base. They have to give them a show to get them involved. They mentioned that today as well. There was one other soundbite I wanted to play for you guys as well. I'm trying to find it while I'm looking here, but I'm just amazed that Nebraska is going to be playing in this, NCAA tournament game. Awesome to see. Told me before the year, I'd be like, maybe they get in as like a 7-8 seed. No, this team is over expectation. I want to play this clip. Price Sanford and Sam Hoiberg asked about going out in public around town because the city of Lincoln, the state, has really bought into this Nebraska basketball team across the brand. People are talking about Nebraska basketball on the daily, including us. We talk about it on the daily too. But Price Sanford, they were asked about kind of like, going out in public. You're obviously going to your classes or whatnot, but when you go to like get food or whatever, do people recognize you in public? Because obviously we see that with football and volleyball and whatnot, because they are such a big brand. But basketball, Nebraska basketball, past couple of years hasn't really been notable, like K-State Tominaga or whatnot. Yes. So Price Sanford, after his historic season in the Big Ten Conference and the 2025-2026 campaign in general, they asked him about what going out in public here in Lincoln. Obviously, his first year with the Huskers. What do people notice him on the daily while he's out and about?
Pretty much every time I go out, it feels like I can't really go anywhere anymore, which is awesome. I love this fan base in this town. It's just been unbelievable support we get. But I go to Chipotle and I can't even get a bowl without having to take a photo or getting a comment from someone. But it's great, and like I said, just unbelievable support, and I'm excited to see it down in OKC.
So this guy, correct me, he goes to Chipotle to get a bowl as a Division I athlete, and this guy's waiting in line, and all of a sudden he's taking pictures with people in the line with him. Awesome. I mean, as a Chipotle and I'm a big fan of it as well. If I'm in line and Price Sanford standing next to me, hey, I mean that's hilarious. So this guy is a Division I athlete. He's been in the city. This is his first time here, part of this fan base. He was on Iowa the last 2 years. Comes to Lincoln. Can't even go out in public without being recognized. He's a celebrity, essentially. Price Sanford celebrity status confirmed. If you go to Chipotle and you see him, if you're that person who's taking a photo with him at Chipotle, I'd love to know who you are and how, you would think like a couple months ago, probably when I recognized this guy in October. Maybe just another guy. Now you're here in March and this guy is trying to go get his food, and he's, these guys are celebrities because of what they're doing. So I just found that quote hilarious, that this guy's trying to go get a bowl at Chipotle and he's ended up grabbing photos. People are asking him about whatever and whatnot. Just a normal guy. And that's what you want to see. So they're tipping off on Thursday, 11:40 against Troy, the Trojans. That will be a fun one, as always. You catch that one at Buffalo Wings and Rings on Thursday, 11 to 6 o'clock. Ticket will be out there. Should be a fun time. Along with that, they're not the only basketball team marching in March. The Nebraska women's basketball team had to wait their fate 10 plus days after being eliminated in the Big Ten tournament against Indiana. Nebraska grabs one of the final spots and will be playing Wednesday night in the first four in Durham, North Carolina. The Cornhuskers will be playing Richmond for one of the first four spots in the 2026 NCAA women's basketball tournament. So if Nebraska were to win that game on Wednesday against Richmond, Nebraska would play on Friday against Baylor, a former Big 12 foe as well. So the bracket, I mean, we could go all night about the bracket and whatnot. The last thing I'll do before we move on to our break, this was a year where the first 4 out and the first 4 in, there was a big discussion. Miami, Ohio didn't win the MAC. They lose 1 game to UMass in the MAC, the MAC tournament. They still get in. They get one of the last 4 spots. Auburn with a 17-16, 18-16 record get left out and are heading to the NIT tournament as well. So I think this is a year where there wasn't a whole lot of like, oh, they got that wrong. I know a lot of people were campaigning for Auburn to make the tournament because they played an SEC schedule or whatnot, but they just didn't win those games. So, but if you're looking to get your basketball fix on, it's not too early because tomorrow you can get those first 4 games playing tomorrow in Dayton. You can watch those games tomorrow, which will begin tomorrow afternoon. Let's go through the schedule real quick. So tomorrow at around, 5:40, you get number 16 UMBC versus number 16 Howard, play-in game in the first 4 in Dayton, Ohio, followed by Texas, the 11 seed, taking on the other 11 seed NC State on Tuesday. Not only that, but there's a handful of NIT games in it on the docket as well. So there's plenty of basketball to watch before Thursday. Wednesday, as mentioned, first 4, there will be the women's one with Nebraska playing at 6 against Richmond in Durham, but also the men's. You got Prairie View A&M facing Lehigh in the 16-16 seed matchup. And then you get Miami, Ohio, the 11 seed versus the 11 seed SMU as well. So plenty of basketball going on. Also, before we turn our attention to another topic, let's look at some of the other notes. The college basketball crown. Nebraska was in it last year, so I think it's only Nebraska won it last year. Correct me. It's only right to announce the 8 teams playing in the college basketball crown for the second annual college basketball crown. Not 16 teams this time, only 8. They cut the field in half. So starting April 1st, Colorado, Oklahoma, Baylor, Minnesota, and then on April 2nd in the quarterfinals at MGM Grand Garden Arena, Stanford, West Virginia, and then Rutgers will take on Creighton. So Creighton will be playing in the college basketball crown this time around. So I know Nebraska and Creighton rivalry or whatnot, but would it be funny if the college basketball crown was won by both teams from Nebraska? Nebraska last year in 2025, Creighton in 2026. That only means Omaha should win the college basketball crown in 2027. Maybe I'm going a little too far, but hey, Creighton, if you're a Creighton fan, you get to play Greg McDermott and that crew get another shot at winning another tournament. So when we come back from break, we'll talk a little bit about some favorite memories from March Madness. When you were growing up, what are some of your fondest memories of the tournament? What are some of your favorite upsets, your favorite moments in recent memory, or, past years? Obviously, the Christian Laettner shot, I wasn't around for that when he hit that shot for Duke. But what are some of your favorite memories, some of your niche memories, something that maybe we've forgotten? What are some of your top memories watching the NCAA tournament? Love to hear your thoughts if you're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or on Allo Channel 961. If you're watching or listening over the dial, hit the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line 402-464-5685 with some of your favorite March Madness moments. 402-464-5685. That could mean, you're watching the game in school and something happened and you remember it for the rest of your life. It could be you're, sick and you ended up watching it or whatnot. Or you remember just sitting where you were when this event happened. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Run again, 402-464-5685. We're going to go to break. Late Night in Lincoln, Nick Whyman here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Is it time to replace your home comfort system? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important, though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing for a free estimate. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduced High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome back. Late Night in Lincoln Live with Nick Whyman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. March is here. March is here. It's crazy how Nebraska will be playing Thursday at 11:40, not 3:10, 11:40 on Thursday against Troy. But to think about it, that Nebraska has a chance to make history in a spot where if they do win that game, you'll remember where you were, who you were with, what you were doing, and whatnot. Whether you're at work, whether you made the trip to Oklahoma City, whether you're at Buffalo Wings and Rings with the ticket crew, whether you were, stuck at your job or, in school, taking a history test or whatnot, whatever you were doing, you will always, if you're a Nebraska basketball fan, you will remember where you were when and where Nebraska won their first NCAA tournament game. Which brings me to our segment here. What are some of your favorite March Madness moments? And because I can think of a couple off the top of my head where I was when this was happening and what was going on. So if you'd love to join the conversation, 402-464-5685. Sarah Heyman Jewelers text line. If you want to comment on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, love to hear what you have to say. Some of your favorite memories watching the NCAA tournament. There are three distinct memories I can remember where I was and what I was doing during some of these eventful games. I'm sitting here thinking March Madness history, sitting here thinking, where was I during these moments? And there's a couple that I can remember off the top of my head. If I'd love to share, maybe bring back some memories down memory lane from when you filled out a bracket and probably got busted, because most of these are upsets because you remember where you were. So the first story I have with March Madness was, I told that on tomorrow's show. So I was in high school the last time, second to last time Nebraska made the NCAA tournament. Nebraska, it was around, I think it was 2014 when Nebraska played Baylor in the first round. Remember that Creighton was on the other side of the bracket with Doug McDermott at the time. So Nebraska had a team of Teran Petaway, Siobhan Shields, Walter Pitchford, Benny Parker. They were a team that the no-sit Sunday year when they beat Wisconsin. That feels just like yesterday to some, because that was a very fun, eventful game at PBA. That was very eventful, to say the least. And that's the game that got Nebraska into the NCAA tournament. Well, Nebraska played Baylor that year. A team with Isaiah Austin and company, Pierre Jackson, another point guard that was very fun to watch in the NCAA tournament. That was one of my favorite memories because not only is that game was on a Friday, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong if it was on a Thursday. I believe it was on a Friday. But the game was like in the afternoon. It was like 1 o'clock or something like that. So I remember being in high school at this time and wanting to watch this game. Tim Miles led Nebraska with Teran Petaway, Walter Pitchford, Siobhan Shields, Ray Gallegos and company to the NCAA tournament. I remember throughout the week, so my mom is not the biggest basketball fan, or she knows basketball. She's not the biggest basketball junkie, doesn't know all that or whatnot about each team. But I had to pitch like, hey, this is a big game. I need to get out of school to watch this game because I'm going to be stuck in class and probably will miss, 85% of this basketball game. Just this one time, I didn't miss school that much. I never really got sick very often. So I was like, hey, I have good attendance and whatever and whatnot. So Friday comes along and got a call to the office, and then they said I had a doctor's appointment or something like that, and I got out of school to watch Nebraska and the other slate of games. So, it didn't seem like a possibility, but it was, and I was able to watch Nebraska play Baylor that game. Obviously, Nebraska ended up on the losing end of that game. Tim Miles got 2 techs in that game and got ejected as well. But But yes, I remember where I was during that moment. Other March Madness memories that come to mind for me as well. There's a couple other ones we hear have in the text line. If you'd love to join the conversation, love to hear your favorite March Madness memories and what you remember like from time and time again, because these games are timeless. You'll remember them for the rest of your life. If you're a big fan of the NCAA tournament. 5299 says UMBC over Virginia. It was a late game. I remember I was going to bed, but I couldn't sleep, so I decided to stay up and watch this game. Well worth it. Yeah, I'd say it was. That was the 16 seed over the 1 seed. I believe that was in a late game in North Carolina. It was on the East Coast. UMBC in Virginia was a very memorable one. Will go down as history as the first 16 seed over a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament history. But then a couple years later, Fairleigh Dickinson defeated Zach Edey and that Purdue team 16 over 1 to become the second, which was also a huge upset as well. I don't know which one's a bigger upset, but I mean, 16 over 1, it's a big upset in general because nobody predicted in the bracket. A couple other memories I can think of off the top of my head. I remember, I don't know when this was. This might have been a couple years later when Nebraska wasn't in the tournament. It was Georgia State with R.J. Hunter, the point guard. His dad was the coach for Georgia State. They were in the NCAA tournament, and they won their conference to get in. But during the celebration of that conference tournament, R.J. Hunter's dad, the coach, Coach Hunter at the time, got hurt during the celebration. So he had like a little chair on the sideline with him for that NCAA tournament game against Baylor. And closing seconds, R.J. Hunter hit a deep three that made his dad fall out of his chair, literally and figuratively, on the sideline there as Georgia State upset Baylor. That's another one I really remember. I think it was Baylor, but I think that's a very fond memory of March Madness. Obviously, Jordan Poole a couple of years ago, I believe it was the late 2010s, he had a shot in the tournament as well to advance. Very tough shot in that one. I remember that one very faintly. A couple others where I remember where I was at the time. I mean, obviously UMBC, like that guy said, staying up late, was going to bed, but hey, in 1 versus 16, you see that, I'll just catch the highlights in the morning because, 1 over 16 at that point was pretty chalky, where a 1 seed had no chance of losing. Maybe be close for a bit, but then the 1 seed would go on a huge run and just absolutely blow them out. But that UMBC game was something different, where they just made every shot and were able to pull off a shocker upon shockers during that game. Along with that, some other ones I really faintly remember off the top of my head. I remember watching that Final Four when Wisconsin beat Kentucky and the undefeated Kentucky team or whatever or whatnot against Frank Kaminsky. That was a little bit later in the tournament. Obviously, I remember Chris Jenkins and Villanova winning the national championship at the buzzer off their DiVincenzo. Ryan Arcidiacono handed it off to him. And Villanova defeated North Carolina after Marcus Page made a very impossible, very low percentage shot on the other end for the Tar Heels. Obviously, I'll remember the championships and the Final Fours because that's, the culmination of the tournament. But like the first round games, I remember Norfolk State defeating Missouri. Missouri was like a 2 seed. Norfolk State was a 15 seed. I remember that one. A couple other upsets I remember. So Georgetown with Otto Porter Jr. Were the 2 seed years ago. Very hot team in the tournament. I was like in 6th or 7th grade at the time. I was at a junior high basketball tournament up in Fremont at the time, I believe. I believe it was Fremont. We were up there playing a couple games a day. But I remember seeing faintly that Florida Gulf Coast as a 15 seed defeating Georgetown. And I remember not really watching that game in total because we had a game or whatever, some tournament up there in Fremont. But I remember seeing Dunk City, and then I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And they ended up making it past the second round, getting to the Sweet 16, but then losing. But Dunk City was a huge, memorable one for me, for Florida Gulf Coast and that team. Recent memory, 2 that really stand out to me are NC State, that NC State team led by DJ Burns, where they had no business making the NCAA tournament, but they ended up making a huge run in the ACC tournament. Remember, they make a shot against Virginia and then win the ACC tournament days later. That one, and then, they just won the ACC tournament. They got hot for a couple days. Okay. No, the NC State team makes a run to the Final Four with DJ Burns and company. Also in that same tournament, Jack Golke and Oakland defeating Kentucky. That Jack Golke team, really fun. They ended up playing NC State in that tournament as well. So clashing of March Madness legends. I'm obviously missing some, but those are the ones that really stand out to me. One other one recently was St. Peter's. That was a game against Kentucky. St. Peter's was not really everybody knew where they were from and whatnot. And Doug Edert and Kentucky, they defeated Kentucky. St. Peter's, the Peacocks march on, defeat Purdue, get to the Elite Eight. Crazy. One of the craziest Cinderella runs of all time. Remember where I was during that. I was watching that game in prime time, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So you remember where you were during most of these upsets and first-round games, because all the games are going on at once. Maybe you're at work and you were watching. I also remember Dayton beating Ohio State with Aaron Kraft when I was in high school as well. I remember study hall, we convinced our teacher to turn it on and whatnot. So those are the fond memories I have of March Madness. Everybody's got a story to it, and there's always ones that stand out that are larger than others because those memories are larger than life. There's obviously many I missed. I probably named about 6 to 8 of them, but there's several that really stand out. But the game on Thursday, you will remember that whole segment was because on Thursday at 11:40, when that game ends around 2 o'clock, regardless what happens to Nebraska, you will remember where and when you were during Nebraska versus Troy. Because if you're a Nebraska basketball fan, you're able to witness the first NCAA tournament win in history for the program. That'll be a day you remember for the rest of your life. Being able to see that moment. And then, regardless, if they do win on Thursday, you'll remember Saturday. And then what happens then? Maybe you say, hey, Sweet 16. It all comes down to that. And the days will continue to get better and better, and you'll be able to remember that the rest of your life and be able to be a part of that history. If you're able to catch a game at PBA, it was worth going. Tickets were hard to come by as the season progressed. But the biggest thing I take away from that is it'll be a memory that not only fans will remember, not us media members, but also these players in this program will remember, regardless of result. Even if they beat Troy and somehow, losing the round of 32, make the Sweet 16 or whatnot, it's a season that will be etched in history. And hey, it was fun. I think that's the end of the season. Whenever it comes to the end, only one team raises the trophy. Whenever that season comes to an end, we'll look back and say, hey, lucky to be a part of it. So we're going to go break. We'll put a cap on the show and send you into Tuesday. Thank you all for rocking in. Thank you all for chiming in as well during that segment, because I thought it was just interesting because everybody else has their own point of view. So we'll be right back. Late Night Lincoln here live. Nick Whyman and 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate. Fans, are you craving the ultimate game day experience? Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill has your front row seat to all the action. Dive into delicious wings, juicy burgers, and ice-cold drinks, all served up with TVs covering every inch of the wall, so you'll never miss a play. Rally your crew, cheer on your team, and take advantage of game night specials every week. Stop in for a Nebraska basketball game with a party of 4 or more and receive a free pitcher of beer. Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill, right by the Lincoln Airport at 3111 Northwest 12th Street.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I agree. And I'd like to help. I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Ryan Buck. Together, we can give you a long-term strategy, the attention it deserves. Contact me today at 402-483-0377. Again, that's 402-483-0377. Stop by our office at 8380 Old Cheney Road. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Looking for something fun tonight? Axe throwing, local beer, and great vibes are waiting at Arbor Axe House. From casual nights out to celebrations and team events, it all starts here. Reserve a lane today at arbораxe.com. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And electrical.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
There's no place like McKinney's Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day, so mark your calendars to join in on the fun for their 12th annual Street Festival. The party goes all weekend long, but starts on March 14th and 15th with tons of giveaways, great Irish food, and green beer. And it continues on Tuesday the 17th for actual St. Patrick's Day. Doors open for the bar at 9 a.m. on Saturday, 11 a.m. on Sunday, and 9 a.m. on Tuesday. And the street party starts at 2 p.m. all 3 days. Don't miss out on great music and great fun with no cover charge for St. Patrick's Day weekend at McKinney's Irish Pub, located at 8th and P. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome back. Late Night in Lincoln live with Nick Whyman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. March is here. Talked about the NCAA tournament. The men play Thursday, 11:40 against Troy. Women playing in the play-in round in the first 4 against Richmond on Wednesday, with a chance to play number 6 Baylor on Friday. So a lot going on in basketball. We only have a couple of more minutes, seconds actually remaining. So remind you, basketball, Buffalo Wings and Rigs, Thursday and Friday, 11 to 6. We'll be down there throughout the tournament. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun time in general. If you are a basketball fan, basketball junkie, a Husker fan, or whatnot, you'll have something for everybody. Win prizes just by showing up, doing a draw. It should be a fun time, and there'll be a lot going on across the board. Along with that, wrestling's going on as well. The NCAA tournament begins on Thursday, Friday, and championship Saturday night. We'll have post-match coverage all 3 nights. So check all of that out as well. I will be here Saturday all day pretty much to lock you in throughout our normal scheduled programming all the way until post-match and potentially a basketball post-game if they make it to the second round, the round of 32 on Saturday. Depending on what time they play, we'll for sure announce that as well. So a lot going on. It is a crazy week. We have people going to Oklahoma City, people going to Cleveland for the NSA the NCAA Wrestling Championships. We have people heading to Buffalo Wings and Rings, people holding it down here. So it is a team effort. It's exciting times. And this is just Monday. I can't wait until the ball tips on Thursday, along with, remember, NIT starts tomorrow, play-in games tomorrow as well for the first 4 for the men's. So if you get your basketball fix on, you can watch it tomorrow and Wednesday. Plenty to watch basketball-wise. College Basketball Crown starts in April. So March is here, and it should be a fun time. So Nick Whyman here. We'll be right back to national radio, but thank you all for tuning in throughout the day. Normal schedule as well tomorrow. Early break starts at 6 a.m., closing out with Late Night in Lincoln and everything else in between. So stick around. Have a good night, everybody. Have a great morning or wherever you're working.